Are we live? Test, 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 test. Hello, are we live? Hello, test, test, testing. Hello, everyone. Put it into the chat. Do you hear me? You sons of guns. You sons of bitches. Tell me it's working. Ah! Ah! Woo! Yeah! Let's go! Yeah! Oh, I don't hear you? Oh, geez. Now here comes all the trolling. We can't hear you screaming. Okay, good. Let me warm up my vocals then. If you indeed cannot hear me, you will not be bothered by this. Okay, cool. What up? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the stream. Luis, welcome back to the Nerd Ventures. You are a Nerd Venture once again. Hope you guys are doing well, man. Apologies about last night. Oh, it was a tough one, man. I had a tough day. I'm sure some of you guys have had days like that before. I know, right? I'm sorry, that was probably too much for some of y'all. You're like, oh my God, bro. What sound was that? That's you know, just warming up the pipes. You know, getting your energy ready, you know? Trying to find that tunage. Yeah, R.I.P. to the Dumbledore actor for sure. That's pretty sad to hear, but it seems like he led a pretty full life. Yeah, so look, yesterday was one of those days where like crap just kept happening and things just kept going wrong. Even the video had like issues and I had to like rework that and do a bunch of stuff for the video yesterday. So ended up just being really, really frustrating. And then I felt like I was like, okay, we're ready. Let's do the stream tonight. In my headspace, I was really like, okay, you know, you got to come with a lot of focus. You've got to be in a really good mental state, a good vibration, because let's face it, Star Wars fans can be a little, I don't know what the right word is, but, you know, it felt a little bit like me not particularly liking episode 7 was something of a death sentence, and I was being walked to the edge of the plank, right? So I was like, got to be in the right state for that, because the last thing you want to do is like, you stinky Star Wars fans, blah, 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 you know what I mean, and freaking out like that. So I've learned over time that it's better to come at these sort of things when you're in the a good mental state. So after last night and the stream not working, I pretty much lost my goddamn mind. And so I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to stream tonight. Even though I did fix it. I don't know, it took me like an hour to figure it out or something like that. And we fixed it. It's still a little janky. Like, I don't love the new settings that we had to do and stuff to get it to work. But I was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to talk about Star Wars. We're not going to be able to handle the Star Wars fandom until we're in a better state. But got a good night's sleep. Had a good breakfast. And so I'm ready to go. Probably not going to be a super long stream today, but we are going to go over Ahsoka episode 7. I wanted to share my thoughts. I wanted to get your thoughts and just talk about the episode like we do each and every week. And yeah, so we're going to get into that in a second. As far as show notes are concerned, if you are a Unity collector supporter, look out for a link sometime today for your invite to the exclusive Discord. And I want to do our first town hall meeting tonight. I'm aiming that thing to start at 7:30 at night. 7:30 at night. So look out for that. And there's a couple of things that we want to talk about. The main thing is I potentially would like to do a webcomic of Unity, kind of manga style with no color. And I would like to kind of set that up. I actually have an artist in mind, and I've been talking to them a little bit about it. But I want to make sure that the collectors are cool with it, so I want to talk about that. And this would involve a lot of your guys' characters. So there are 8 members of the community, the Nerd Vengers, that got their own character. They designed their own character in Unity. And so I would want to do maybe a little webcomic with those characters that kind of is like a prelude to the big Unity story. But I want to talk about that later tonight. So we'll get into that tonight. Should be a good time. Should be a video coming out for you guys probably tomorrow at this point, because everything yesterday got jammed up about Balin and why he left Shin and what's going on and why I still think Abeloth is the move. I want to do a video about Anakin. And then also, guys, if you're a Prime member, we will do a Prime stream this Sunday at noon. I know it's a weird time, but it'll be a good stream, and you can always watch it on the replay for the Prime members. And then next frickin' week. Next frickin' week. Holy crap. Can you guys believe that next week we've got the finale of Ahsoka and the first episode of Loki Season 2? Loki Season 2 is next Thursday. So, wow, we'll go right from Star Wars into Marvel. I think it's going to be a good time. I expect Loki Season 2 to be pretty good. So, we'll be doing watch parties for that. As long as it's good, we'll keep doing watch parties. And Colton, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger once again. And Star Wars Sith, I did see that. That is dope. I really appreciate Eric Voss and everybody over there for putting a nice little shout out for us. And look, man, I feel like we've been making some pretty good content lately, and I kind of feel like I'm in a little bit of a zone. You know what I mean? A little bit of a zone. So yeah, I've got two pretty good videos for you guys, even in the next couple of days, about Ahsoka 7 and just in general. So I feel like we're in a good stride, and I want to just keep making the content and continue to make good stuff, man. You know, make good stuff. The stuff that you guys are interested in, that you want to watch. Videos that are really interesting, you know, good editing, really good ideas. So I feel like we've been doing pretty good, and I want to kind of continue to do that. Okay, I think that is everything as far as show notes are concerned. So, before we get into sort of breaking down the episode like we usually do, and we are going to kind of go through it little by little, I want to know, what do you guys think, man? What is your score for episode 7 of Ahsoka out of 10? Put it into the chat. What's your score? What are you giving it out of 10? Let me know. Nico, I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. We got Acolyte, then Bad Batch Skeleton Crew next year. That's true. That's true. Okay, so here we go. We got a 6. We got an 8. A lot of like 7s, 8s, 5, a lot. Whoa, some 4s, 7, 6, some 8s though. You know. Rebels 8 out of 10. Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, so a little bit of a lower. You can kind of see. The opening scene was so engaging. I mean, there was aspects of it, or should I say, aspects of it that were rather engaging. Respectfully, of course. So, look, I think you guys can kind of tell, just looking at the numbers that your fellow Star Wars fans are putting into the chat. It is a little bit lower than what we've been getting. And I think we were on a crazy trajectory with episodes 4, 5, and 6 kind of like one-upping each other. And that was pretty incredible to see. And it just feels like this one was a slight step back. So it definitely looks like the majority of fans are kind of, you know, giving it a lesser score. I will also say that if you just look out on social media, not a lot of discussion about this episode. It wasn't really popping off in the same way that the last several weeks have been. And it's not the end of the world. I think that's the thing I want to kind of, you know, that's the main focus. But don't worry, like I'll get into triggering everybody and everybody getting mad in a second here. But I do want to say, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I think it's worth pointing out and worth talking about this, you know, because Ahsoka was on such a very nice trajectory. And it's weird where it's like, I don't want the show to be written simply to cause Twitter interactions. Like, I don't think that's the mentality, right? Like, you shouldn't be sitting there and being like, okay, well, let's have this thing that'll blow up. You know, people will be talking about that. Let's have this thing that'll blow up. But I do think, because at the end of the day, a lot of that Twitter engagement and a lot of the social media engagement is really a byproduct of great things within the show that fans want to talk about, want to explore, want to cheer for, etc., etc. So you don't want it to be a show designed to trend. But in a lot of ways, if the show's doing its job, I think it's going to trend. You know? And I have a lot of questions about this episode, and we're going to have to wait to see the finale to see how this all goes together. But there was something that, you know, I believe, Jason Ward was talking about this in a couple of his streams where he said the show demands a second season, and he's a little bit worried that some of the dope stuff got taken out of the back half of Ahsoka and was saved for Ahsoka season 2. To me, guys, and I would love for you internet detectives to get on this and really kind of pick this apart. I had a feeling and I got a sense that some of the scenes with Baylan in episode 8 were from reshoots. And it looked to me, and hey, Nick, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to go over all the super chats towards the end for sure, right? And as I was looking at it, I was looking at like images of Baylan from some of the other episodes, and I was looking at images of Baylan in certain parts of episode 7. And his face looks a little bit more full, a little bit chunkier. He looks a little bit more like modern Josh than Josh from the past. But you really can't tell. Like, is that just a day-to-day thing, or was that really from reshoots? I also looked and I was really trying to find differences in the beard. I couldn't really find anything definitive, and it's not based on anything I heard from behind the scenes. It's more like a feeling. To me, Baylan delivers some lines in a little bit of a different cadence, with a little bit of a different. I don't know what the word for it is. It just felt a little bit different in some of the ways that he delivered the lines in episode 7, and I wonder if some of that stuff was just reshot to kind of tie it up in a way and then set some stuff up for the future. I don't know if you guys are feeling me on that. Don't fat shame the guy. I'm not fat shaming the guy at all, man. I'm not fat shaming the guy at all. But I'm just saying, like, I was looking for differences because it felt different. It also kind of feel like we're missing a chapter of this story because, like, Baylan, tone, maybe that's the right word for it. I think, something like that. It feels like we're kind of missing a piece of this story because Baylan goes from being like really, really connected to Shin to like walking away. And yes, it appears that he's sad about it. And then he's like hanging his head in the one scene. He's looking back at her before ultimately making the call again. I'm going to do a whole video about this. But it feels like we're kind of missing a chapter. It's like Baylan is, he's kind of just now accepted that he's going the other way and that she's going her other way. And what I remember from episode 6 and their discussions was more like the beginning of that, like the sort of signs that Shin had different ambitions, the sort of first differences really being explored between them. And I really appreciated the nuance that came with those discussions and the performance of, obviously, I mean, Rey, just, wow, such incredible performance, right? And it feels like we go from that right into like, oh no, now I'm going the other way. You know what I mean? He's reserved himself to that decision. He's like, that's what I'm doing. His mind is made up. And it did just feel like we are missing just a little bit of that story. And I'm not sure why, right? So those were some of my thoughts. And look, I want to go through who directed it. It was a lady director. I am blanking on her name. Pull it up right now. Let's see here. Directed by Geeta Vasant Patel. Geeta, which I think is a female name. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so we're going to go through all of this in a second here. We're going to kind of talk through each scene, and I'll explain like where I'm at with it, what I thought of it, etc. But I want to say, I think the main thing, and I touched on this in the video I did yesterday, but the main reason that I think people are not liking this episode, the main reason that it fell a little bit flat, is that it does nothing to properly set up anticipation for the finale in any way. Meaning, like, there's no, like, oh, snap, now this is going to pay off. There's no, like, oh, bro, like, this, now we know what it's going to be like. Like I said in the video yesterday, I have half a mind to think episode 8 will be 10 minutes long, and they will just keep hugging in the field, and Thrawn's just going to leave. Like, that feels like an actual possibility to me. I see no reason as to why there has to be another conflict. I see no thing that needs to be resolved. Like, it's if there were 2 episodes left, we might be okay here, and maybe there would be a good setup for the finale after that. But that's not what's happening. And so there could be all sorts of reasons as to why. I think Disney Plus shows in general, especially ones that are connected to a wider universe of storytelling, sometimes do scramble at the end. I mean, WandaVision has a horrible ending. I felt, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, pretty lackluster ending. Loki has an incredible ending, but, And then the first 2 seasons of Mando absolutely have incredible endings. But a lot of times this happens in the Disney Plus sphere, where it's like, man, we really had something, and now it feels kind of goobly glob. It feels like it's trying to set up other stuff. It's trying to, like, scream to the audience, like, there's a plan, like, keep watching. And it just is not as good as some of the other parts of the show, right? So we'll see what happens. Maybe this will be like a flip of what happened with WandaVision. In my opinion, the second to last episode of WandaVision is, like, masterful, and it was something really special. And then the finale is just not. The finale sucked. So maybe this will be the opposite of that, where we have a pretty lackluster Pan-Ultimate episode, and then the finale itself is really, really crazy, okay? But anyway, let's now kind of go through the different scenes within the episode and sort of talk through it. So we have an opening with a Senate hearing and Hera, okay? And, we do get some C-3PO as well. And, to me, like, this scene's fine. It's fine. It's to connect the events of this show and what's going on with Thrawn to the wider Filoni-verse. It sort of talks about Mando Season 3, all of that sort of stuff. But again, it kind of has the vibe of doing some last-minute edits, It kind of reminds me of the editor notes in comics where you've got this scene and then Mando Season 3, you know what I mean, with a little editor note from Dave or something, and you got to go read that issue. It's fine. Not incredible, just fine. And the entrance with C-3PO and C-3PO being there, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys think? Move my head. Oh, was I covering up the cake? Sorry, guys. We'll find... There's more later. And sheesh. This Thursday at 11:30? My God. What did you guys think of C-3PO? Were you down? Were you not down? Give me your thoughts. I'm a little ahead of chat. There's something in the settings must have us just a little bit ahead of chat. It was all right. He looked off. Thanks for nothing. Should have been Leia. I agree. Yeah. Loved it, bro. It was one of those things that it didn't, like, bug me, but I didn't love it, to be honest. I think it would have made more sense to actually have Leia there as well. And I know, right? Like, oh, dude, can't do that. This, that, second, and the third. Well, I don't give a shit. If I'm just in the story, I'm not thinking about the fucking limitations of the studio. I don't give a shit. Figure it out. Right? So to me, it was a little like, okay, we're doing this 3PO thing. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting about this scene that Star Wars fans did point out is it shows this guy saying, a mere droid. It sort of shows that there's a lot of leftover vitriol for droids after the Clone Wars, which would make sense, right? The Separatists and why they are and how they use droids, it would absolutely leave you feeling a certain sort of way. Something else I thought of last night, and trigger warning for all of you sequel trilogy haters out there, but I do wonder if Dave did this intentionally to make some of the lines in Episode 9 make a little bit more sense. I don't know if anybody caught this, but, you know, Leia says, never underestimate a droid, which feels super out of pocket, and it felt a little bit weird. But this could be an effort to make that make sense. I mean, she is literally telling 3PO to go be her representative in a very important moment, which is kind of funny because I remember in the OT, like, you know, she was a little cruel towards 3PO and things like that. So there's a little bit of a deeper thing going on here, and I can definitely get down with that, and it's fine. I think maybe it lasted a little bit too long. And this scene at the end here is really supposed to evoke, and this kind of ties into one of my issues with the episode in general. It's supposed to evoke just how bad things could be if Thrawn came back into our galaxy. And I just don't buy it. Like, there's just no, like, it's not doing that for me. You know, but I feel like that's what it's trying to accomplish. But it's like, tell me, real, like, she's basically like, Mon Mothma's like, okay, real talk. Put your emotions aside, bitch. How likely is this shit to actually happen? And Hera's like, we should prepare for the absolute worst. And it's like, I don't know, like, come on, man. You know, like, you could do a little bit better than that, I think. But again, fine. It serves what they're trying to do, right? It's intentional. It's cool. It's fine. Now, this scene right here is incredible. And not just because it's Anakin Skywalker, but because of what it represents. And I'm going to do a whole video on this. Because again, it's fascinating. Hugh Wang comes in at the end of this scene. And he's basically like, wow, how thoughtful. I had no idea. Now, what that indicates is that he's never seen this before. Okay? Never seen it before. Why hasn't he seen it before? Ahsoka says he did about 20 of these recordings. This was his last one. So why hasn't Hugh Wang seen these recordings before? I'm asking the class. This is not rhetorical. Why? Chat? Why does it be like that? Hello? Bueller. Exactly. Kendall. 5 points for Gryffindor. Yeah, she this is a closure of the arc that Ahsoka has been on with regards to her embarrassment, guilt, and inability to accept her legacy. She never put this out there because she didn't want people being like, well, he did kind of become Darth Vader. She was ashamed. Exactly, Justin. So she's ashamed. This scene shows that due to the events of Episode 5, Ahsoka has now processed, learned, and grown such that she's openly not just, having experiences with Anakin and sort of having that out there, but she's willing to sort of show that side and say that he was a good master. It's meaningful. The other part of this that's really cool, which shout out to Elisa and Big Stevie for talking about this, those recordings are very likely to show up at Luke's Academy. These recordings are very likely to be how a young Ben Solo becomes enamored with the legacy of his grandfather. So again, sequel stuff. Some of you guys are like, but it is what it is, you know. And for me, I really like how this is being handled. So to me, I think this scene is super meaningful. I absolutely loved it. It's really cool. Really, really cool. Then we get into the action with the space whales and all that, and I felt like this scene was really visually cool, man. You know, and Ahsoka, by the way, small side note, she is back to her plucky self. It's really cool to see in the way that she is, you know, interacting with him and all that. It's a little bit back to her regular self. Now, this sequence was visually stunning, dude. Like, I really liked how this sequence was handled. I thought it was really brilliant, really cool. But my problem with it, okay? Like, yo, let me rewrite these Thrawn scenes real quick, okay? Like, I don't like Thrawn, like, okay. So, they're trying to show you how smart Thrawn is, right? And he's got the minefield. You know, they're trying to show you how brilliant he is. And, like, he comes in to this room where they're, you know, they have the scanners and they have all this stuff here where they're explaining it. And then he gets handed an iPad from Morgan Elsbeth. And Elsbeth says the Inquisitori had all this information on her. Okay, so scratch this entire scene. Instead, Thrawn is on the Chimera in the chamber with all the readouts and all the holograms that we know from Legends. When Thrawn needs to get info, he has this room within his ship where he has holograms all around. You've probably seen the images of this thing before. He sits in this room and he's got just fucking intel just everywhere. So, no, it shouldn't be Thrawn walking into the Night Sister room being handed an iPad. He should have access to the Inquisitori reports. He should have all this information. Maybe they're getting updates about it. Maybe, you know, whatever. But, like, I feel like they didn't give Thrawn the proper autonomy to make it look like actually make sense as to how intelligent and you know, devious this guy is, okay? So I didn't love this scene. I do like how he reacts to Anakin Skywalker. I do like that he pulls the shuttles back. I do like that he says, Jedi are good at hiding. If she's anything like her master, she'll be unpredictable. We'll need to stay one step ahead of her. But the trouble is here, his actual plan kind of sucks. And it's also counterintuitive to say, if she's anything like her master, she's unpredictable, so we're going to stay one step ahead of her. That is stupid. So, like, it's tough because I'm not flipping tables. I'm not burning Star Wars merchandise. Which, by the way, let me show you this. Look at this baby, dude. Look at that beautiful blue boy. That's actually a rare commodity. The Black Series Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not like throwing all my stuff. I'm not burning jerseys here. But I will say, not a great way to set up Thrawn to normies. Like, Thrawn is that guy. He's Sherlock Holmes. And there have been plenty of different moments within books and even Rebels that showcase that strategery, as W would say, right? So I just don't like this. I don't like this. I don't love what is happening in this scene. And also, Thrawn is in a lot of the scenes here. A giveaway. I don't know about that. I kind of want to keep this one. Be real. Den of Dolls. How dare you, Chris? In a lot of these scenes, man, it feels like Thrawn is talking to the audience instead of talking to Elsbeth. Some of the exposition is just too much for me. I'm like, bro, like, you don't gotta do it like that. Okay? And again, it strikes me as maybe something that changed. Maybe something they had to play it fast and loose with. So then we get these shots of doing the scans and everything in here, and her trying to reach out and everything. It's fine. I think Ahsoka should have just immediately started seeking through the Force for her. But it's fine. It doesn't totally kill it. Then we get a cool little scene with Ezra and Sabine. I really do think he is absolutely killing it, right? As Ezra, it's really damn cool. But we still don't get, Ezra still doesn't know what's going on. And I know he says, getting home is kind of important. But, he still doesn't know what's going on. Now, he's processing a lot of stuff. So I think it's fair that, he was processing all this stuff about the Emperor, about this, that, second, and the third. I get it. But, he doesn't know what's happening right now with her being there, with Thrawn, etc. The Star Destroyer is not exactly a subtle ship. And it is literally parked on top of the biggest fucking building on the entire planet. So you can't expect me to believe that characters with eyes don't see what's happening. And it's not addressed at all. And it's a little bit frustrating. So again, it's just man, we've had some really sharp writing. We've had some really great episodes. And when I get out there and I say an episode's a 10 out of 10, I mean it. I put it through the gauntlet. I have a very critical eye. I can get super butthurt about stuff. We've had bangers. And this is just really not one of them. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough pill to swallow, pause, that we're dealing with stuff that feels not good. It doesn't feel like this was well crafted. You know what I mean? So, again, it's okay. It's not terrible. Damn sure ain't great. It's okay. Then we get this kind of scene here. And this is kind of what I mean is we get that little scene there, right? The mothers locate Ahsoka. Ahsoka's calling out, and then they kind of get blasted out of there. I actually did like the way this scene was handled with Sabine and Ahsoka. I actually thought it was pretty cool. I was like, no, that's great. Night Sisters, locate her. That's kind of interesting. Something that I noticed too when I was going through this, in some ways, they're replacing both the Ysalamari and Joruus C'baoth with the Night Sisters, because the Ysalamari were a great way to protect against the Force and Force users, and the battle meditation that C'baoth would do in those novels was very clutch to them winning a lot of different battles. So you need to be able to utilize the Force and also protect yourself against the Force. And the Night Sisters are kind of replacing both of those elements from the old novels in the show, which I do find kind of interesting. It's pretty cool, right? He's again, he's explaining the plan here, and it's here's the problem with this again. And I know some of you guys are cringing. You're like, bro, just let it go. It ain't that deep. You don't have to be that critical of it. But dude, he didn't know Ahsoka was coming when he sent Sabine and them out there. So don't try to make it he had some contingency for even somehow if Ahsoka comes, he's got the plan. That's not what happened. Now maybe it's yeah, it was smart of us to get them out of here or whatever, but it just doesn't. It's not a great plan. The mastermind of Thrawn is not let's make them waste their time. That just doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean? So it's all right, but it's just not. That's not Thrawn, bro. Okay, this is what I mean. This scene in particular, it literally feels like it was from reshoots, and it feels like we're missing a chapter of the story because he's reserved himself to go his own way. Now, I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's intriguing. I think it still connects to Abeloth. But it's I don't know, man. The way that he has been very fatherly to Shin the entire time. And then to have sort of these scenes where he's a little despondent and he's yeah, I'm going to go my own way. Like this is it. This is nice, you know. He's feeling the guilt. He's like, you know what I mean, and like his mixed emotion. Like there's a lot of great aspects of the performance, but the pacing just feels a little strange. And then she just walks away without, you know, basically without saying anything. We get the bandits, but he's also sending out the gunships, right? They do their thing. They're trying to run away. It's a cool sequence, actually. I did enjoy this. And then he's like, I'll handle this. And we got all really excited, you know? And like Balin's just like watching it go down. It was pretty interesting. She's coming in, doing her thing, you know? It's a good sequence. This, by the way, this where she just jumps out and then there's Balin. Bro. Well. He's like, well, now, this is a surprise. He should have been like, well, now, I guess I'll save the episode. Because he kind of low-key does. This whole aspect was brilliant. I can't let you interfere. You know, the fight was dope. Bro, how powerful is Balin? He's very powerful, man. Like, this is kind of an upgraded Ahsoka. This is Ahsoka the White. And again, she's like dealing with a lot of the shit that was holding her back. And Balin just handles her ass, dude. Like, he literally just handles her ass. He even catches her hand. And says, like, you can't defeat me. And I was like, this is dope, man. Who is this guy? Why is he this powerful? It was crazy. But then we have a scene that kind of, I guess, triggered people. You know, what do you guys think of this? A little Luke Skywalker. It would have been hilarious if he grabbed it and threw it over his shoulder, to be honest with you. But, like, a little, you know, rejecting of the lightsaber here. What did you guys think of this? I mean, we sort of talked about this, right? Like, this was kind of out there. He's not going to use his lightsaber, and he's been here for a while without the lightsaber. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, I was like, cool with it. It's very Ezra, you know? Like, I saw a lot of people complaining about Ezra. You just didn't watch Rebels if you don't like this portrayal of Ezra. Like, this is Ezra. This is like shockingly accurate to Ezra in Rebels. Like, this is who he is. This is who he is. So it felt like good from that perspective. You know what I mean? Like, this is Ezra. And it's a little Ezra for him to be like, no, you know, you've been training, like, you take it, etc. And then we get into the action itself. And this is one of those things, man. This is one of those things. I gotta say, I am a little disappointed in the Force karate. I am a little disappointed in the Force karate. The choreography, not good enough. The visual effects, not good enough. The fight with Balin was absolute fire. The fight with Balin was great. But the Force karate, just not quite there. It reminds me of the first 3 episodes where the lightsaber fights were just not there. And I wonder if, like, this is his first day actually doing the combat or whatever, right? And maybe there's more stuff coming later on. But the Force karate was just not cool enough. And they should make it cooler. You know what I mean? Like, just make it cooler. And I know there's some people out there that would be like, oh, but dude, it was like your expectations. It was the expectations of the fans. Like, this is fine. Guys, if the fans, when they hear Force karate or something like that, if their mind goes to something that's absolutely incredible and you can't, like, match that or exceed that with, like, what you do, it's not the fans' fault. Like, the idea is dope, right? Like, you just say it. Just like, oh, he's just going to do Force karate. That's dope. That's really cool. And when you have a really cool idea like that, it should be executed in a really cool way. So it's like, again, I'm not sitting here burning my feet. We're not burning jerseys. But, like, let's be real. This was not it. Do better. Now, the coolest part of it was the lightsaber thing. When he held back the lightsaber, you know, with the Force, that was freaking cool, man. The sound effects, the way that they did it, Shin's shock, it was really, really cool. But a lot of this was just not, to me, wasn't it, you know? So then we get, you know, they do their thing. And this, dude, again, like, what is going on? How is he this powerful? And why is he, like, absolutely incredible this, God damn it, Balin. So good. Just crazy that we got this guy. I'm very grateful that Ray left us with this performance. And then his sort of pensive moment here, looking after the battlefield, being called to Abeloth and, going there. Now, the trooper stuff to me was pretty underwhelming as well. I liked what Fernie said. It feels like he's playing Warhammer 40K here, which is kind of cool. Kind of funny. But yeah, just it wasn't the coolest. And the sequence with the troopers was just okay. Like, it feels a little sloppy. It's just not, I don't know, man. It's not what I wanted it to be, right? Now, that moment with Ezra was cool, for sure. But, yeah, the combat was just a little bit sloppy, a little bit all over the place. Really wanted the troopers to bring a little bit more. Like, if they're these dope new troopers, like, they look cool, but are they just as shitty as all the other stormtroopers we've ever had? Oh, okay, cool. I guess that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, they are really shitty. And then, again, this scene to me is frustrating. It's frustrating. You're talking to the audience. You're not having an organic conversation between these two characters. It's like you're trying desperately to tell the audience, Thrawn's in control. He's 2 steps ahead. He's brilliant, etc. Like, let me show you what I see. She's like, I see our enemies united. He's like, let me show you what I see. But here's the thing. It's not that dope to be like, I got them to waste their time. Like, that's not brilliant. Like, sleight of hand, distractions, bluffing. That's like basic 101 strategy. That's not Thrawn. Like, Thrawn's level of brilliance usually shines through in a strategy that you're like, whoa, like, that's crazy, This wasn't it. So to me, it's like, okay, so we're almost there. He's almost got it loaded up, etc. Like, I don't know, man. That's not Thrawn enough. Like, that's not Thrawn enough. Like, time is very much on our side now. Like, okay, bro. Like, that's cool. And then they retreat. We have a cool little moment with Shin here, which is cool. I wonder if that'll ever pay off. And then we've got this cool reunion moment. But that's one of the weird parts of the episode. Like, we leave off on this feel-good, I feel like I am going home episode. And it's like, okay, so what the hell is going to happen next week? Yeah, exactly, Adam. Like, Thrawn's big plan was packing up efficiently. He's like the dad that planned really well for the vacation. Like, that's not Thrawn. You know what I mean? So, I like the show. I even will go as far as to say I like the episode. But there are problems. And this was not the episode that it should have been. It misses in some pretty big ways for me. And I do wonder what's going on. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in episode 8. But if episode 8 is also lackluster, I mean, I'm going to be kind of loud about it. Because it's a shame. And if it feels like, we don't know what happened. But if it feels like KK came in and was like, well, remove all this shit and save it for season 2, I'm going to be a little upset. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. Not a terrible episode. I would say probably like 7.5 out of 10. But that's like 2.5 deviations away from the last 2 episodes. You know what I mean? So, that's my thoughts on Ahsoka episode 7. Let's get into the Q's and the A's. We'll see what you guys got to say about it all. See what you guys got to say about it. What? Live chat is currently unavailable. It's not even going to show me the super chats? Oh, YouTube. Why do you do this? Wait, isn't there a way now that I can do it through this? Hey! But it only goes up to Bree. Okay. I'll go from here, and it's going to catch most of it. And then if anybody's here that I missed stuff, I'll go back. Okay. Bree752, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger now. Locationary says, with a very generous 20 spot, the episode confirms that Ahsoka takes place after season 3 of Mando, so they completely skipped over Ahsoka meeting Luke for the first time. Unfortunate, but explains why Ahsoka wasn't angry to see Anakin. She knew what he did. That's kind of fair. Yeah, that's kind of fair. Kraken gifting 5 memberships. Hey, I really appreciate it, man. Colton, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers. Nick says with a 20 spot, I think the episode had its issues, but coming off bangers. I like the slower pace to take it all in and theorize before the finale. Left us with a good question. Shin direction, Balin motive, Ahsoka World Between Worlds exit. I don't feel the same, like, at all, but I also don't want to come down and like rain on your parade. And like, when I watched the episode the second time, I was like, there's enough good stuff in here that if I was like really feeling the show, I'd probably like this episode a lot and I would defend it because it's not a bad episode by any means, but it misses some important things for me. But yeah, like it's good enough, or I should say it's so good in the things that it does right that like, because there was a guy on our Discord that was saying, like, this is not any worse than any other episodes. It's, like, right about where all the episodes are at for me. And I totally get that. I think it is right about there. Unfortunately, I think coming off of some of the fire stuff and where we're going via the finale, I just felt like there's some bad misses here. But, yeah, I get you. Hiron says, pretty underwhelmed by Ezra's fighting. Expected some DBZ type combat, but I suppose the leaks raised my expectations. Maybe he'll kick ass next episode. Yeah, it's true. I mean, like I said, maybe they just didn't. Like, maybe that was just one of his first days on set. Maybe it'll get better in the next episode, and it damn sure better get better for season 2 and the movie, because that's just not good enough. Nick says, I also think it's Sabine's turn to make a sacrifice. That's kind of interesting. Sabine kind of got off easy so far, so we'll see if there's any repercussions for her actions. CC Ryder says, for me, I think it's a really good episode. Still leaves room for characters to grow and develop. 8.5 out of 10. I hear you, bro. I do. Kendall says, this episode overcame flaws, probably flaws, but it says flows for me. We got politics, dogfights, western chase scenes, saber fighting, tactical strategy. Only hang up for me was Ezra. 9 out of 10. Nice. No, I get it. Like I said, I can see why people would really like the episode. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. Is Ezra Night Mother magic? Is he his diversion to keep the good guys occupied to buy Thrawn time? Is Ezra actually Enoch? I'm hoping for a massive twist. I don't think any of that stuff's on the table. No. It's cool to theorize. It's a fun theory, but I don't see any of that happening, especially with what we've heard about the leaks. Sup, Poppy? Since Dave's episode was so great, why didn't he direct every episode? Oh, he's just busy, bro. And I think he's still developing as a director. So he's like taking up certain chunks of the season that are to him really, really important. And he wants to put a personal touch on them. But I think by and large, the most important thing for him is to run the show. Taking from Thanos to build Thrawn arc. Yeah, I can see that a little bit. There's evidence of Imperials, Inquisitor Saber, dead X-Wing pilots, Tiva as witness twice. Why did no one else stand up for Hera? He sounds Imperial. Yeah, that dude does kind of sound Imperial, for sure. For sure, man. Arthur! Poppy, it's my birthday. I'm officially 24. Gowd. Time moves fast. Sorry I've been MIA from the tower, grinding at work for the past 5 months. Promoted this month, so I'm a certified trainer. Dude, that's awesome, bro. Good for you, brother. And happy birthday to you. Can we get some happy birthday wishes in the chat for Arthur? I love you and everyone at Nerd Ventures Tower. I appreciate all of you guys. You're like my second family. I hope all is good with the fam. Watching the creator tonight. Blinker crew assemble. Much love. Thanks, man. I'm going to see the creator tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about it. And everything's good with the fam, man. We're doing good over here. Very busy, but very good. So I appreciate you, man, and happy birthday. Dante says, episode was solid. Just didn't up the ante like the last 3 did. Definitely wasn't bad, though. Ezra's abilities are underwhelming, though. He should be OP. I agree. He should be super OP, man. And yeah, it's like right on that line, though. Like 7.5. I could even see myself giving it an 8. But an 8 is still 2 deviations away from a 10. You know what I mean? It's still a step back. Dr. Restitution says, bad dialogue. Thrawn wasn't smart or self-sufficient. Worst part was, I thought you were dead. Guess I was wrong. That's how you resolve a betrayal? That took half a season to build towards? Boo, Filoni. I actually do agree with that. I think, yeah, I don't like that. I didn't like that as a resolution. For sure. And yeah, the Thrawn stuff just doesn't work for me, but yeah. Arthur says, leaving on my cruise tomorrow, won't be back till Monday, dude. I hope you have a good time, man. Jake Skywalker says, they're setting up Ezra using Kanan's saber, hopefully. Not so sure about that. I feel like he's, despite what we think, I think he thinks he's got this, you know what I mean? Baby Bird with the very first super chat, thank you, says, Balin can be version of Sabayoth from the Air Trilogy's books. Love your streams. Congrats on Unity. Much love. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's sweet. Lifebreak says, Thrawn indeed wasn't Thrawning in this episode. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. My hope is that Ezra will inherit Kanan's lightsaber, says Jackery. Since the last we saw it, it was in Thrawn's possession. The chase was better than the Vespa Rangers. That's true. That is 100% true. Prosit Dibs, a.k.a. 10th brother, may be Balin's master. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. I wouldn't hate that. I would not hate that. That's cool. Yeah. That's good stuff. Guys, was there anybody's chat that I missed from, like, supers or all that? Is there a collector's Discord up yet, guys? No, it's not up yet, brother. That's like next up on my list. Well, actually, I got to record something, and then that's next up on my list. So, that doesn't make it impossible. True. So it's the sabers on the Chimera, possibly. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. Wouldn't be mad at it if you got the saber. That'd be fun. Ooh, and give it to Jason? Yeah, I like that. That would be cool, man. That would have been pretty cool, guys. You missed mine. I sent 500,000. Well, should have sent more, bro. I'm not looking back for that. Where is Rook? He died. He died at the end of Rebels. Theory on Ahsoka's spare lightsaber in the closet. T6 belongs to Hugh Wang. I think that whole spaceship is going to be gifted to Luke Skywalker. That's what I think. Or perhaps used to, like, train Jason or something, but, yeah. Yeah. Why Jason not have Twi'lek, though? I don't know. I mean, he is, but we just don't see it? I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. Where's Wade? Yeah, he gone. Chillin' says, sup, Josh and chat. I thought this was a decent episode, but definitely a step back. Still think the finale will slap. Blinkers up, y'all. Nerd Adventures for life. Take my money. I appreciate you, bro. I do think it's going to be pretty fire next week. But it's like, I don't know what, I don't have any, like, expectations that were set up by this episode. It's more like, oh, I just expect that they wouldn't have a shitty finale. You know what I mean? Twi'lek genes are recessive to humans. Yeah, it's possible, man. It's possible. Maybe it's the midichlorians. Plo Koon was Balin's master. I don't know about that. Same reason the boy in the Clone Wars was half Twi'lek. Yeah, true. Where's Agent Callus? I think he was with Rex last we saw him. With the actual Lasat people. Josh, I bet you $20 the finale is going to have a massive cliffhanger. Oh, well, that's possible, yeah. That is certainly possible. Whoa. DJ K says, Ezra has been alone in the wild without any kind of additional training for 9 years. He only knows what he knows. His overconfidence is his weakness. Ooh, I like that, actually. Yeah, he's probably feeling a little big for his britches. Can we talk about some Loki? I'm going to do that on Friday, but, I mean, we can talk a little Loki. I'm definitely excited for Loki. I'm certainly excited for it. I think it's going to be a good time. It'll be good to get back to Marvel. I've enjoyed my Marvel break, though. You know, to be honest with you, I've enjoyed my Marvel break. And I think we're about to get a ton of Marvel news via Loki, but also a lot of leaks, man. The writers are getting back in there, and, like, they have to write basically everything. Like, everything for Marvel is getting rewritten. So, that's cool. We'll have a lot of Marvel stuff to talk about real soon. Real soon. Don't you worry, Kendall. Dante says Thrawn could have something else up his sleeve. For sure. For sure. Yes, MK Matt. Unfortunately, I do think that's true. I wonder if that has anything to do with like his, because I don't think he dislikes the show, but it does seem like I don't know. I guess I just expected him to be going a little bit more like crazy with it and to be vibing with it, but maybe that's part of it, you know? Can't really blame a person for feeling how they feel, you know? Mama Avenger had a point on X that Ventress is missing from the story, and I agree. Would like to see if Filoni will include her in the series' future content. Much love and take my money. Andre, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, no, it would be cool to get Ventress. Her name dropped was really cool. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Isn't Ventress dead? I don't know if she's dead at this time or not. She dies in a book. But I think, doesn't Dooku kill her? Pretty sure that's how that happens. Anyway, I'm probably going to get out of here soon, guys. I got a lot of stuff to do today. A lot of cool Unity stuff. A lot of fun stuff happening, man. I'm like feeling really good about a lot of the moves we're making. I feel really good about, you know, the streams and the videos. We've been doing great. You know, and I've been saying in some of my videos about Ahsoka this week and stuff, if you've been enjoying this, if you've been having a good time with the watch parties, if you've been having a good time with the videos, we're going to do a lot of coverage of Loki Season 2 as well. So, you know, stick around for that. I think it's going to be a good time, man. Next week, 2 watch parties. 2 watch parties next week. So a lot of work being put in, but it's a fun time, and it's good because the last year, like before Ahsoka, the last year and a half was a little rough. So it's cool. It's cool to be getting into some new stuff. So I'm excited. Unity Discord probably be up in the next couple of hours. And 7:30 is the plan to start the town hall. So there's a bunch of stuff I want to go over with you guys during the town hall. So look out for that. Good stuff all around. Appreciate you guys. Oh, and we might be at capacity for the meetup. So if you didn't sign up for the meetup already, you're probably... It's probably over for you because there's too many people coming, and now I'm going to go broke buying everybody booze. So, appreciate you guys. Much love. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave, 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 leave. Another happy landing. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh man, is this shit gonna not work again? Ugh. Ugh. But we figured it out. And despite the adversary, we move. Nerd Avengers, I appreciate you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Open up your third eye and wash out your stinky. Bye!